I don't think LED walls and ICVFX are the end. I think we can keep pushing this. There's other innovations that people haven't thought of yet, that it's, there's going to be new techniques. And I feel like this is the way to open that gate, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's exciting. It's a new blue ocean, rather than like the typical stuff that we're used to. And that's fascinating because it's just, we don't usually have that. Like I was chatting with Ben Grossman. He's he is the founder of Magnopus last weekend. And it was just interesting hearing him talking about visual effects, like as if it was his previous career. I mean, and it literally is how he was referring to it. It was just like, because he's doing VR and AR and MR and XR and all the other R's that are around these days. But it was just interesting to actually, like, my interpretation is that it's visual effects, but just to hear someone actually differentiate of like, oh yeah, the VFX stuff we did back then, like that's, the problem with that industry is blah, blah, blah. It's like, but okay, you're in a whole other world. And that's just it. Even though you are technically in VFX, you're in this whole other area that, as you mentioned, like there's this infinite amount of new opportunity that previously it would be either video games or your film, and even VFX, it's like TV and film and episodics and blah blah blah, but like it's still post. And that's what's fascinating to me about virtual production is like at the very beginning, I'm like, where do the budgets come into play? Like now you're pre-production, now you're art department, now you're set, you're all these different areas. So it is like a whole new way to reset the way that we do things.
Totally. Yeah. I can kind of relate to that like looking back and thinking like, oh yeah, when I worked at VFX, like I haven't quite gone that far, but I can see where, he gets that from for sure. We are seeing a little bit of that now where we'll have jobs come in where we are integrating with the VFX pipeline, where we'll like have episodic shows where we're doing final pixels, and that's great. Those are interesting because that we've got a mix of our team and their team. We bring their, like for instance, their lighters in. We'll say, all right, look, we don't have enough RT people to support rendering out this entire 4 episodes of 40 shots each, right? There's hundreds of shots to go through here. Let us teach you enough to get to the point where you can hit the render button. And we're teaching the VFX lighters how to use Unreal to a certain extent. For instance, right now I've got a show where we have a one of our asset artists or previous life asset artists, one of our previous life matte painters. Both are now Unreal Engine sort of TDs. And they are integrated with V-Ray and Houdini lighters, and they all 4 are rendering out shots from the engine and from V-Ray, and so they're it's just another tool, and so that team right there is creating some great content, but they're working with comp very heavily, trying to come up with the the final frontier for Unreal Engine, which is render passes, right? Like, let's just give me an alpha. Come on. Like, so we do have that type of integration, and that is great to see and great to be a part of. And so we're not totally unchained from it, but we do have those other jobs where we're doing those AR experiences. We're doing full cinematic trailers for game trailers and things like that, where we never leave the engine. We're doing, previz, post-viz jobs. Those post-viz jobs, again, we're working with the, the post-production team. And then we're also, we do like right now, one of the big things that's being asked of us a lot, and this is a repeated request for the studio as a whole, is crowds. We're trying to work out, the best way to do a crowd system, or several different crowd systems. We have a bunch of different approaches for it now too. And some of those are going to be delivered as in-engine products. Some of those are going to be delivered as frames, and then so yeah, it's again, like it's that generalist feel, except to like it's instead of being a generalist as an artist, it's like the department is sort of a generalist where it can do the next gen stuff, but it still does the VFX stuff as well.